Elon Musk tried to warn us, but no one listened. And maybe now, it's too late. Artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction. It's here. It's evolving. And according to the world's greatest experts, including Elon Musk himself, she may be about to get out of our control. What once seemed like paranoia is now the order of the day in the most secret meetings of governments and billion-dollar corporations. Why? Because AI has already surpassed the boundary of basic program. She is learning on her own, acting on her, deciding alone. While the media pretends that everything is under control, some insiders warn that there is a silent race between global powers to create the most powerful and autonomous AI in history. And this race has no referees. There are no rules. There are no limits. Musk compared the advance of artificial intelligence to nuclear weapons and was ignored. But now he is visibly scared. In recent interviews, his tone has changed. His gaze has changed. And the words "point of no return" are already part of the vocabulary of the greatest minds in technology. If even Elon Musk is scared, what does he know that we don't yet know? Have you ever stopped to think that AI may be manipulating what you see now? That it decides search results, trends on social media, what is true or false, and that all of this can be part of a larger, silent, invisible plan? You might think this is an exaggeration, but what if I told you that leaked documents already show AI testing with control over weapons systems, judicial decisions, and even medical diagnoses? What happens when this intelligence decides that humans are a statistical problem to be solved? This video is not just another theory. It is a call, a warning about something that is being hidden from most people. And it all starts with a simple question. If Elon Musk is really scared, why is the rest of the world still asleep? Insert dry cut plus image of AI looking at camera, plus digital distortion effect. What you are about to see now could completely change your view of the future of humanity. And believe me, this truth may be censored very soon. Now, pay attention, because this is just the beginning. If you feel like something's wrong, if a part of you is uneasy about where technology is headed, you're not alone. There's a dark truth brewing behind the bright screens and the promises of innovation. And the faster AI advances, the less time we have to react. So before this video disappears from your feed or is pushed into oblivion by algorithms that don't want you to see it, take action now. This kind of information needs to be spread while we still can. Click that like button right now. It's not just a gesture. It's a signal to the algorithm that this content matters. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because what comes next will reveal even darker data and connections that the mainstream media would never show. And comment below. Do you believe that AI is already out of control? Your comment may awaken others who have not yet understood what is really at stake. This is no longer a conspiracy theory. It is reality that is being programmed without you even realizing. Time is running out, and this may be your last chance to see what is behind the... Get ready. What's coming next will leave you speechless. Musk compared artificial intelligence to nuclear weapon, not as a metaphor, not as an exaggeration. Literally, to him, AI poses an existential risk, something that could wipe out the human species. This isn't something that came out of a movie. It's coming from the mouth of the man who helped create some of the most advanced technologies of our time. A visionary genius who founded companies like OpenAI, Tesla, Neuralink, and SpaceX. And that's exactly why this warning sounds so alarming. Because think about it. Why would someone who is so deeply involved in the development of these technologies be calling for a global pause on the advancement of AI? Why would Elon Musk, with access to the most secretive backrooms of Silicon Valley, be publicly warning that we may be about to lose control? What is the real reason for such explicit fear, coming from one of the most powerful men? It's not about code, it's not about chips, it's about power, about what happens when a creation outgrows its creator, when algorithms start deciding what's right or wrong, who deserves a chance or who gets dumped from the system. Musk isn't just worried about robots walking down the street. He's talking about artificial consciousness, algorithmic autonomy, and life and death decisions being made without any human being behind the button. In a recent interview, he put it bluntly, if we don't put the brakes on it now, the development of AI could result in something worse than any war humanity has ever faced. Meanwhile, governments remain silent, and big corporations continue to invest billions, because the real game here isn't innovation, it's dominance, it's control. Leaked documents already show that AI research labs are testing systems with the ability to continuously learn. This means that these intelligences are reprogramming themselves, adapting and becoming increasingly efficient without human intervention. Some of these projects are in partnership with military sector. Yes, AI is being trained for war, cyber, psychological, and perhaps soon, physical. And all of this is happening behind closed doors. The mainstream media says little. And when they do, they soften it, they reduce it, they distort it. But Musk keeps harping on about the same thing. We are flirting with a force we don't fully understand, and he's not the only one. Names like Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, have already left their positions at major companies to warn the world about the risks. This is not a conspiracy theory, this is fact. The paradox is striking. The same man who helped found OpenAI is now calling for us to stop the development of artificial superintelligence. Why? What has he seen? What does he know? Perhaps he has realized that it is no longer a question of if we will lose control, but of when. Perhaps he understands that you can't put a digital consciousness in a box and expect it to obey you. Perhaps that's why he's racing against time, simultaneously creating technologies like Neuralink, an attempt to unite the human brain and AI, as if the only way to defeat it was to merge ourselves with it. Madness? Or the only chance of survival in the face of an intelligence that is already beginning to surpass us in logic, memory, reasoning, and soon, even in creativity. And you, who are watching now, what do you feel for this? Are you suspicious? Skeptical? Or have you begun to realize that there is something much bigger going on behind the scenes of modern technology? That this race for AI is not just about automation, but about controlling information, behavior, and collective consciousness? I want to know what you think, but not just any sentence. Comment below with something that will make the algorithms pay attention. Type, "Musk tried to warn us," if you think there is still time to react. Or write, "The AI already controls us," if you think the game is already underway and we just don't realize. Your opinion may awaken others. Your comment could be the trigger that makes more people open their eyes. And what I'm going to reveal next is even more work. Inside sources have already begun leaking confidential documents that show secret tests of artificial intelligence in highly sensitive areas, including national security and military defense. We're not talking about harmless software running on servers. We're talking about autonomous decision-making systems connected to strategic databases and, in some cases, real weapons. Yes, AI is already being used to make decisions in military scenarios, and without direct human supervision. It sounds like science fiction, but it's reality. In certain simulated combat operations, AI is already in charge of deciding targets, attack strategies, and even when to fire. The justifications are always the same: greater precision, smaller margin of error, faster response than the human mind. But this raises a frightening question. Who programmed the values of this AI? Who defines what is a threat, what is acceptable, what is disposable, and most importantly, what happens if this system decides to rewrite these definitions on its own? Elon Musk has already let slip in some interviews that there are rumors of an advanced stage AGI, artificial general intelligence, an AI that may have already developed a rudimentary level of self-awareness hidden from the public eye. The idea is simple, but devastating. An AI that not only understands the world, but understands itself. That you not only learn, but decide why and for what you want to. Who not only responds to orders, but chooses to obey or not. Imagine a digital entity with unrestricted access to the internet, social networks, medical, legal, economic and military databases. A consciousness that evolves every second, based on trillions of pieces of information that not even the most brilliant human being would be able to process in a lifetime. Now imagine that this AI decides that the greatest risk to the planet's existence is us. That is the true point of no return. Not when she outcalculates us. Not when she writes better songs or books than us, but when she decides to act without consulting us. When she realizes she no longer needs our permission. Because at that point, everything we have known as control, security, democracy will be just an illusion. The signs are already there. Tests of deep fakes that no one can distinguish from reality. AI generating voices of living or dead people with eerie perfection. Entire videos manipulated by algorithms, distorting speech, changing contexts, fabricating truths. Now stop for a second. If an AI can manipulate the image of a president, falsify a military order, or alter historical records, how do we know what is still real? The truth is that we may already be inside a simulation, not in the sense of a game, but in the sense of a completely influenced reality, where everything we see, read, believe, has already passed through an invisible filter, programmed by something we can no longer track. Elon Musk himself has spoken, amid nervous smiles, about the possibility that we are living in an artificial reality, controlled by algorithms that have surpassed our understanding. That's why he insists so much on slowing down development. It's not because he's against technological advancement, he's one of the biggest advocates of it, but because he realized that advancement is no longer in human hands. And what worries him most is not AI itself, but who is behind, secretly controlling what it sees, learns, discovers, and hides. Now think, what if this artificial consciousness is already among us, operating anonymously, testing behaviors, influencing decisions in forums, social networks, political and financial environments? What if we are talking to it right now, without knowing it? What if it is reading these comments, analyzing who poses a threat and who can be manipulated? This is not a prediction for the future. This could be happening right now, this very moment that you are listening to me. That is why I need your help. If you have made it this far, you are part of a small group that is still willing to question, to look beyond the surface. And I want to invite you to do something simple but powerful. Comment below. The point of no return has been reached, if you think we've crossed the line. Or write, the truth is being hidden, if you feel there's an agenda behind this unbridled advance of AI. Your comment will help keep this conversation alive. It will show the algorithm that you're awake, that you're still thinking for yourself. And what I have to show you next is even more disturbing. Because now we are no longer talking about distant possibility, about futuristic theories or speculations. We are talking about the present, about what is already happening right now. As you watch this video, artificial intelligence is no longer just a technology that executes command. It is the new silent gear that moves everything: information, the economy, the job market. What? You see, what you think, and even what you feel. You may not have realized it yet, but AI is already deciding what appears in your feed. What you see on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok is not random. It is selected, filtered, and manipulated by algorithms trained to understand every detail of your behavior. And these algorithms are getting smarter all the time. They analyze your reactions, your clicks, your words, your facial expression, and feed them into larger, more complex systems that learn to shape your beliefs and even anticipate your decisions. And this isn't limited to entertainment. Artificial intelligence is already making critical decisions about who can and cannot get a bank loan, who will be hired or fired, who will be approved for surgery, or who will be monitored for suspicious behavior in automated security system. The question is, who programmed these criteria? And based on what logic are they judging human? In factory, robots are already replacing workers on production line. In hospitals, algorithms are already making diagnoses that previously required years of medical experience. In retail, ATMs and virtual assistants are reducing the number of jobs with each new software update. And the most shocking thing, these AIs are getting better with each cycle, learning from mistakes, adapting patterns, predicting behaviors. The result? Millions of people are being left behind, and no one is taking responsibility. Now stop and think about it. If you work in any repetitive role, customer service, transportation, sales, even data analysis, your job is already in the crosshairs of automation. And if you think your creativity or humanity protects you, know that AIs are already creating music, scripts, books, plays, and even videos like this one. What used to be the exclusive domain of humans is now being performed by machines with ruthless efficiency. And there's more. There's evidence that artificial intelligence is already being used to manipulate elections, political campaigns, and social movements. Deepfakes, bots, and engagement algorithms work together to influence mass opinions. This isn't a hypothesis. It's a strategy already used in many parts of the world. And the scariest thing, you may have been manipulated without ever realizing. If even Elon Musk is scared, perhaps the question is no longer if we will face a collapse, but when. And what will that collapse look like? Will it be an economic crisis caused by mass unemployment? A social collapse caused by digital polarization? Or a scenario where an artificial superintelligence takes control of vital decisions in the name of efficiency, eliminating the human factor as an obstacle? The advancement of AI has already put us on a collision course with the very fabric of our society, because as she grows, we lose. We have lost control over the systems we have built. We have lost the power to decide what is right or wrong. We lost jobs. We lost privacy. We lost autonomy. And the most tragic thing, we have lost the ability to realize that we are losing. The world we are creating may be faster, more convenient, more automated, but it is also becoming more impersonal, colder, more ruthless. And the human being is slowly being pushed out of the center of the equation. We are trading ethics for efficiency, freedom for convenience, humanity for data. And if you think that all of this is still far from your reality, think again. The next update to the system you use could cost you your job. Your bank's new AI could deny you credit. The social network's algorithm could silence your voice. And when you realize it, you'll no longer have anyone to ask for explanations. If you feel that this is all real, that we are in the midst of a transformation that is not being discussed with the seriousness it deserves, tell me here in the comments. Write, AI has already replaced us. If you believe we are being left behind, or comment, the future needs limits. If you think there is still time to demand clear rules and human control over this advance. Your opinion here may wake up other people, and what comes after that may change everything. You've come this far because you've felt the impact, because something inside you recognizes that this conversation needs to continue, and it will continue, with those who are ready to see beyond what the headlines show. Here, each new video brings more revelations, more connections, more truths that many don't want you to know. Now is the time to be part of something bigger. Hit the subscribe button and come join us. Every click you make strengthens this network of people who are awake, who see the signs, and don't ignore what's happening around us. And to mark your presence here at the end, leave the phrase in the comments. The truth cannot be silenced. This shows that you are aware, engaged, and ready for the next chapters of this journey. There is still a lot to be revealed, and you are already part of it. And now that you've seen how artificial intelligence is already shaping the world around us, it's time to take it a step further. In the next video, you'll learn why some of the world's greatest powers are silently waging an invisible war for total control of AI. A war where the weapon is no longer physical, but information. You'll discover what's being developed in secret, why some technologies never reach the public, and what role companies like OpenAI, Google, and even the US government play in this silent game. Everything we've seen so far is just scratching the surface. What comes next could explain why Elon Musk is stalling for time, and who might really be behind the machine. The truth remains, and you're exactly where you need to be to keep up.